Hey everybody, I'd like to talk about my favorite memory at CodeUp. I'm sure some folks they might make reference to a certain project, maybe overcoming an obstacle or a challenge or an aha moment, having that mild epiphany about a certain language. But in all honesty, from July to January in CodeUp, the biggest thing that comes to mind for me, my favorite memory that I'm going to walk away with, is collaborating. Wow. It is always a very deeply enriching, empowering moment to actually collaborate with other people on a team, look at a challenge, dissect that challenge, grab the piece that appeals to you, being in a professional environment where you can actually speak up and say, hey, look, y'all, I'm stuck. Can I get a second set of eyes? Does anybody have an idea? Have you faced this before? And then moving forward as a team, because you always accomplish more collaborating with others than you do standing by yourself. So that's my favorite.
My favorite memory from being at CodeUp was definitely getting to know my cohort. I found out throughout the whole first couple weeks that we have a lot of things in common, from music to things on television. It was very nice to know that you're going to be surrounded by people who share a common goal, but at the same time share common interests. So that was very enticing for me. So I really enjoyed that. So it's one of my fondest memories, was being able to overall get along and get to know my cohort.
I don't so much have a specific favorite memory as I do a lot of different favorite memories from all the times that I would be working with people, either in AdLister or with Capstone, in pair programming, or just together in the breakout rooms. When there would be a problem that people were stuck on, and together we would work to overcome that and come up with a solution that we thought was really smart. That sort of collaboration and the opportunity to work with other developers as we were learning is something that I think is really valuable, and I took a lot away from.
My favorite memory during CodeUp has definitely been the Capstone experience. I love that we were given a little bit more autonomy and we were left to our own devices to create whatever we thought was possible to create, which gave us a lot of freedom in styling and just in our back end. I loved working with our team, and I really thought this is where I grew and learned the most throughout all of CodeUp.
My favorite memory at CodeUp was a combination of our cohorts. It was two teams that were completely separate at first, and they got put together, and we kind of just melded into one. Everyone wanted to succeed, and everybody wanted to see everyone succeed, and it was truly an amazing experience.
So one of my favorite memories I have while in CodeUp was when we all got together finally and got to meet in person after we got all of our headshots done. It was kind of funny to see everybody and see how tall people actually were when they're not sitting behind a desk and on camera.
I think of all of CodeUp, my favorite memory is going to be working on this Capstone project. It was fun, it was long, it was hard. We had a lot of late nights and a lot of long days working, coding, trying to get everything to work all our functionality, meet deadlines, and we were stressed. In the moment, probably wasn't that fun because of how stressed we were, but looking back at it now, it was a great time, and it's going to be something I'm always going to remember.
During my time at CodeUp, I think my favorite moments were all the times we did pair programming and all that led up to our Capstone. Just the interactions I had with other individuals in terms of development just was pleasant in seeing how other people can create solutions for problems that I wouldn't be able to think of. And I always find that enjoyable whenever I'm part of a team or a project or whatever it is that I'm doing. Just being able to see those other lines of sight is something that I will never get tired of.
Okay, this is going to be quick. I'm actually taking care of closing on a house with my wife, but I would like to thank her for her time and patience this last 6 months at school, and thank the CodeUp staff for excellent curriculum and my classmates. It's been really fun, stressful at times, but it's been really, really good.
My favorite moments during my time in CodeUp was when we are building out our capstone application, which is Chow Now. And it was in this moment that I was excited to showcase what we finally learned in the last 5 months and have it finally cemented and see to fruition. I had brilliant team members that I was working with, Robert and Mike, and also the instructors were really helpful in giving us advice and which direction to go. It's just after the application was finished, it was such a fulfilling moment that I was able to go this far.
The most memorable thing for me at CodeUp has probably been the interactions and the conversations I've had with other members of my cohort, because we all started this program on the same path. We're all going towards a very similar goal, and it's great to work alongside them and work on projects with them, and it's been a really great experience.
My favorite moment was the day we set up for what we were going to create for our capstone project. I remember being so excited to tie in all the technologies we've learned to create our very own application and to begin the last module at CodeUp.
As for one of my favorite memories, I have to be when working on the recent project and spent hours working on a particular feature and just couldn't figure it out, and got some insights with some of my teammates, and coming to figure out it was literally just using the wrong version of a framework. We were using 5 and I was trying to apply it with 4, so that was pretty that was pretty funny. Overall, time consuming, but it was pretty fun. So definitely learned something there to always check the versions, but that's just one of my many favorite memories here at CodeUp.
It's hard to pick just one favorite moment from my time at CodeUp, but by far the best moments have been with my capstone team, Better Reads. It's been such a pleasure working with Levi and Caleb, and I've learned so much from both of them. From when we first started planning our project to the very end when we stayed up till 3 a.m. making sure our styling was on point. I'll never forget those nights when we stayed up talking to each other, getting to know each other, and just talking about code. I look forward to the projects we work on together in the future.
My favorite moments at CodeUp were really all the moments that I got to spend with my capstone team. The late nights planning, discussing, and coding. Sharing laughs at our embarrassing oversights. The frustrations of iterating to get the code to function exactly the way we intend. And the joy and triumph and celebration when it finally does. Those are the moments I'm never going to forget about this.
My favorite memory in CodeUp is whenever the cohorts merged, because I got to meet new people and new ideas were brought to the table as far as coding.
My favorite memory would definitely have to be when we first looked at DOM, and it was just mind-blowing to see that all the work that we did was finally like showing on screen, like we actually see it. So yeah, I won't forget that moment where we just like we've been coding so long, and then finally we're able to visually do something with it. Like I could make a button do this, so it's amazing. So yeah, that's my favorite memory.
My favorite CodeUp memory is when we first went from just doing JavaScript on the console to actually putting it on the page with HTML. That was when we really got the ball rolling and it really started to get interesting and exciting.
One of my favorite memories from CodeUp is watching my classmates present their coffee projects. It was the first time I was able to see just how talented everyone is, and I found it really inspirational.
My favorite CodeUp memory. My favorite memory would probably have to be, it's hard to choose one. I would probably say just thinking back to where I was and the evolution that we all took over the past 5 months. You know, getting to know everybody and talk to them on a personal level was amazing. You know, getting to know people like Michael Satterfield, who went from being a super excited father-to-be to being in the trenches of fatherhood before the end of our course. You know, it's not really a lot. You know, you get to run into that type of situation, you know. It's awesome. But yeah, so just getting to know everybody was incredible.
I'd have to say that my favorite memory while at CodeUp would be the first evening that our capstone team got together. What I enjoyed the most from that experience was that we spent the evening not even talking about code, but we spent that time getting to know one another. I feel that because we took that time to step out of our day-to-day routines, we were able to develop bonds that have continued to grow throughout the capstone project. I am happy to have worked alongside the members of Better Reads, and I am proud of the work we have all accomplished together.
My favorite CodeUp memory is getting to know my instructors and classmates and attending study groups with some of my classmates.
So one of my most memorable moments with CodeUp probably be when we did the coffee project. And doing the coffee project was awesome. My partner was awesome, Sahara. She was great to work with. But it came down to presenting the project. And she didn't know I was going to do this, but I ended up using a voice changer on my computer. And I made my voice sound like a movie announcer, and I went off to describe the project and pretty much made everybody laugh. And it was a great experience. And you know, I didn't have a script. I just did it off the top of my head, and I just thought it would be funny. And sure enough, it worked. It worked out. So that's probably one of my most memorable moments.
My favorite memory of CodeUp is actually our first week of CodeUp. Remembering how fresh we all were to programming, some of us not being able to write a line of code, and today we can write fully functional web apps. Being there throughout the entire process and seeing how far we've all come gives me pleasure, and being able to be there with you from the very beginning. And that is something I'll never forget.